Well, good day, good afternoon, whichever time that I'm meeting you in right now. I appreciate the opportunity to sit in your household here for just a few minutes here. I wanted to go over a couple of reasons why becoming an associate with TVC Marketing is important. Just looking at the economic situation here in the United States and abroad, it's very important to begin to secure your future outside of some of these so-called guaranteed promises from employers. Employers do run businesses. They do have work orders that need to be serviced, so they go out and hire laborers to help them manage their businesses, and they're able to leverage that revenue by having workers that work for them, and they only pay them twice a month, on the 15th and the 30th, or once a week, 4 times a month, or in some situations, once a month. And so in these type of situations, the employer has the real economic advantage because they earn revenues off of your work and then pay you a fee for that work. And so we're going to go into why it's important to not only consider secondary sources of income just for income security, but we have a very dire situation going on with our economy here in the United States. As you can see right now, we're at 19 trillion in national debt. That is an enormous number, and I'm going to pull out my pencil here just so that you guys can follow along with me. We're at 19 trillion in national debt. That 19 trillion is a whole number. The person says, where does that number come from? Well, that number comes from here. When the U.S. federal budget overspends what it actually takes in here, this number here, $3.2 trillion in federal tax revenue that comes in from personal income taxes, payroll taxes, and business taxes. As you can see, corporations don't pay that much. As you can see, we have a vast number more in income taxes. So I just want to show you this just so you can know. So the revenue per taxpayer is $28,000. So a person says, so how many taxpayers are in the country? Well, there are 119 million taxpayers in the country, and the average taxpayer pays $28,000 for the federal government to be in the red. So a person says, what are they paying for? So as you can see, we have a government entitlement program, which is Medicare, which is 1.1 trillion. We have Social Security, which is 900 billion. That's an enormous number there. We pay 600 billion to defend the country. We have income security programs for those who can't afford to live in the United States. We have $300 billion that goes toward them. We have interest on our debt, which is $248 billion that we pay, and then we have federal pensions. All of this right here, these are the largest budget items. All of this right here that I'm circling causes this right here to be overbalanced. And when this is overbalanced, it is added back to there. Okay, so that it's a massive type of deal. Our government is spending an enormous amount of money. Considering what we actually produce in the country. As you can see, we produce 18 trillion. Our GDP, debt to GDP ratio is 105. What that means is that we're spending 5% more. We have a negative growth rate, basically. The economy is not growing because our debt that we have, this $19 trillion right here, is outpacing this 18 trillion. So hopefully that makes sense. And we have basically 325 million people in this country. 151 million people are working. So you got like a 50% participation rate in the workforce. As you can see, the workforce is getting smaller in terms of the number of people that are not in the labor force. So we have roughly about 20 million people from 20 million more people from 2000 to now, 2016, that are not in the labor force. So we have a huge issue with labor market participation where there's almost 100 million people. Listen, 100 million people. So I know the associate opportunity is available. It doesn't cost a dime. Sign up. I mean, it's 100 million people that aren't working. This is a great opportunity to do this. I know the numbers are there. I'm showing you this so that you can see that we're not just busting you. We want you to understand the economy is not in good shape. It's not growing. Have a large population, and at the same time, there's a growing number of people that aren't participating in the workforce. We have 124 million people out of this number here, 151 million that are full-time. And we have 27 million that are part-time. So part-time work is increasing massively, but the income is a major, major problem. As you can see, $30,000 is the median income for half of the United States households. So as you can see, $30,000 of income as a full-time worker. So like 90%, over 90% of workers are full-time workers. $30,000, and with the TVC marketing program, we're going to go back to it. It definitely hands down takes care of the business on this. But one of the major things, let me take my pen off here, just to show you our economies are not in good shape, but I need to move this down here a little bit. Give me just 2 seconds while I adjust the little things in the background and get my pen back here. As you can see, we have 42 million people receiving food stamps. We have roughly over 130 million people enrolled in this $1 trillion program called Medicare and Medicaid. It's a government entitlement program that's paid through payroll taxes. Everybody pays that payroll tax. The payroll tax is almost 8% just for that, almost 8%. So it's a big deal. And we got 43 million people living in poverty, and we're supposed to be the richest nation in the world. Now this number, 31 million without health insurance, that's a big number. I mean, it was 50 million. I can definitely say it was over 50 million. So you've added 20 million more people now have healthcare services. The only problem is those healthcare services are more expensive as far as deductibles, premiums, copays. Because either they're going to get state insurance or they're going to go to the private market. But either way it goes, we have more people that have health insurance, but it still may not be affordable for them. Look at the number of retirees. We got 50 million retirees in the country. This is a growing problem because the number of folks, again, we're showing you right here, 20 million less people that are in the labor force. Now, who's going to pay this bill here for Social Security? Who's going to pay this bill here for Medicare? Who's going to pay this bill for defense, federal pensions, income security? Who's going to pay those bills? With lesser people working, I think that is a major job that's going to be a problem 10 or 15 years from now. Look at the number of people that are incarcerated in the United States and convicted felons. I mean, like, this is a huge number. These are people that aren't going to be in their labor force. We've got 1 million bankruptcies, 525,000 foreclosures. So the numbers are here, and you see many presentations. I just wanted to give you a short synopsis so that you can see it. These are state and our local economies are really running deficits. As you can see, local revenue, the cities of our country are bringing in about $1.3 trillion, but they have 1.8. So you got 700 billion. I mean, like, come on, like 700 billion in the negative. So it's not a good deal, not a good deal at all. Now, states are doing a little bit better than the local, but some of these major cities are just massively in loss. Our country, over the last couple of years, have racked up massive debt. As you can see, mortgage debt is $14 trillion. If the incomes are only $30,000 on average, for 50% of America, how we're going to be able to afford $14 trillion in mortgage debt. On top of this, a lot of people went to school and got student loans. This $1.3 trillion has got to be paid back. Student loans and mortgages are way more than what they have to pay in credit card debt. So as you can see, personal debt is at $54,000 per citizen. So this is huge. This is huge. I'm showing you this just so that I can walk you through the numbers. You can understand why we believe that the opportunity to become an associate at TVC marketing is very important, and why the benefits that come through Motor Club of America are excellent enough to go out and just refer to people. They pick up a side income to help them from this growing economic problem. As you can see, our unfunded liabilities in Social Security are $15 trillion. Medicare, $27 trillion. We have over 103 trillion worth of unfunded liabilities. Like, how are we going to pay for that with a shrinking labor force? One, two, a stagnant income. Three, a government that is currently over budgeted by 19 trillion. Where's this money going to come from, along with personal debt at 17 trillion? It's a major, major issue. As far as the banking crisis in the United States that occurred, it's still rampant. Realize that these are bank deposits. These are bank issues right here. You got $401 trillion in credit derivatives. That is a massive, massive number. We don't know what exactly is going to come from that. Our monetary base is at 13 trillion. That's how much money is circulating out there. So let me turn off my pen here. I just wanted to give you that quick information real quick, just to give you the state of the economy, why it's important for you to take action now. We don't charge you anything as an associate to come on board. All we ask that you do is become a member, and I'll erase my board here as we go. But thank you for joining, and you have a wonderful day.